Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Enough Said. Today's podcast, we're going to dive into you and see how big your physical capability box actually is. Now, who am I to tell you? Well, my name's Jamie Jones and I've had over 22 years as a personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach, and remedial massage therapist. And my mission now is to give you and the world clear guidelines on how to be physically capable to enjoy life. And the way I'm doing that is providing 18 physical standards for your musculoskeletal system. So the system that is your muscles, your bones, your ligaments, and your tendons. And it's the system that is responsible for all your movements in life. And until now, no one has provided any guidance of what is actually enough to live well. So if you want to run marathons, run ultras, deadlift triple body weight, this podcast isn't for you. But if you're doing that, keep chasing your goals, do you? That's amazing. But if you simply want to live well and not have your body get in the way of your general life, and what I mean by that is getting to the floor and back up, picking up your grandchild, picking up your child on your hip, walking upstairs, walking downstairs, all these things that are in life, I'm going to teach you why the body can continue to do that for as long as possible. So today's episode is all about how big is your physical capability box. It's a very visual one. So if you're listening to this, do try to watch this on YouTube a bit later. You'll get a bit better of an understanding. But for now, let's dive into episode 7 and see how big your physical capability box is. So how big is your physical capability box? Now, you can grab a piece of paper. You can do it, obviously, on your computer. But we want a nice big rectangle with 6 points. And you can see on mine here, I've got floor in the bottom middle, carrying objects, bottom right, reaching overhead, top right, top middle is neck, top left is stairs, and bottom left is chairs. Now, so we want that right on the perimeter, right on the outside, as big as you can make it. Now, bang smack in the middle of that big rectangle is a little rectangle, and in that it says capability gone. Now, obviously, we want to stay way away from that for our entire life, but this capability box diagram really gives you a good visual to see how your capabilities are tracking. Now, this are just 6 here. I've got 18 standards on my website you could do this with as well to track what's working for you. So when things are working well, we're going to put a dot right on the outside, firstly for floor, carrying objects, reaching overhead, just marking that we're as far away from capability gone as possible for the neck, for the stairs, and chairs. And if we join those dots, we can see that space there, that area inside the rectangle is quite large, and we're as far away as possible from capability being gone. This is ideal. Now, let's say you just go along life and you don't worry about practicing any of these abilities. Over time, they naturally decline. It's as simple as if you don't use it, you lose it. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie, and it absolutely applies for your musculoskeletal system. So your muscles, your bones, your tendons, and your ligaments, they want input. They want to be challenged, and they want to adapt to keep you moving. So if you go along life just as normal, and you haven't played on the floor, you haven't sat on the floor, you haven't the need to go on the floor, so you kind of start to be a little bit cautious about getting down there. You can still carry objects. Reaching overhead starts to feel a little bit tight, a little bit restricted. You're noticing trying to turn your head while you're driving. The neck's a bit stiff more frequently. Things are just changing there. Why can't I turn my head like I used to? What's going on there? The stairs are, your knees are feeling it. You're feeling a bit uneasy, a little bit weaker trying to push up or come down the stairs. And you can still get out of chairs quite comfortably. So if we join these dots up, we can see that area has significantly reduced. And just because of natural decline, those abilities are creeping towards capability gone. That's just because your musculoskeletal system hasn't had the input, so it's just declining in those patterns. You might be strong in other things, but these particular abilities just naturally decline if we don't practice them. So you think, oh, it's not too bad. I'll just keep going. She'll be right. And then before you know it, the floor is bloody scary. You're a bit worried, oh, I can't get down there. I won't get back up. I'm sure you know someone, or you might even be thinking that yourself a little bit at the moment. And for some reason, you're just not carrying any objects. You're starting to be a little bit fearful because your body's not working like it was back when all the dots were out there in the black, when you had all those abilities. We just went along life, and that natural so-called decline occurs if we don't provide enough input. Reaching overhead's even stiffer. You're noticing now you can't get your arm up to put the washing out. You're struggling to put t-shirts and jumpers on over your head. Your shoulders are getting real stiff. There's no movement up in that top half. So reaching overhead's very uncomfortable. Your neck, you're guarded now. You really can't rotate at all. You're turning like a robot when you're checking traffic. That neck ability is just starting to restrict. Stairs. Now you're avoiding them. You're looking for the lift. You believe that stairs are going to hurt your knees, so you stop doing them. And then your general strength has now come down so much that you struggle to stand up out of a chair. Now, that decline might happen rapidly. It might happen slowly. It only happens if you don't provide your body the input to push it back out to capable. So this isn't about going lift weights, doing more walking. No, it's moving your body the way that it needs to keep the inputs capable. So we can see these white dots are getting far too close to capability gone. And all your body has done in this period is adapted to what you haven't done to it. And this is generally what we see with preventable physical decline. That's the key word, preventable. And exercise, load, and range is the only way to get it back. Supplements are not going to help your overhead position. Breathwork is not going to make your neck rotate all the way. If it is a musculoskeletal issue, your muscles, your bones, and tendons. Supplements are great, I'm not bagging them out, but you have to teach your body how to do movements. You have to build confidence. And the only way to do that is with evidence to yourself. I'm getting fired up here. Remember, I'm unscripted, but this is what I've seen. I've helped people. It works, okay? For some reason, we have this big stigma about what exercise actually is. For your musculoskeletal system, your muscles, your bones, your tendons, your ligaments, it is the answer that provides the feedback. Yes, you have to do it progressively and slowly, but exercise is the safest way to give you confidence about your physical body. We've all had injuries, we've all had setbacks, we've all had different capabilities drop up and down, but we can't give up and switch off that input, because I'm sure you've seen it, or you're starting to feel it. You've seen loved ones who unfortunately have gone too far and that physical ability isn't there anymore. So we've got the white, really closed in box, because that's what's happened with lack of input. But here's a cool thing. No matter what your age is, you can start to provide input. You get to that point, you're like, okay, I'm going to do something about this. All of a sudden, you start working on some progressions to learn how to get back to the floor. So the white comes out to that yellow dot a little bit, moving towards back to the black. You start carrying things safely. Such an easy thing to train and teach your body. So that one jumps out pretty quickly. You start to do some nice overhead mobility work and provide positive inputs. So all of a sudden you can do those things at home where you need to reach overhead. You start moving your neck the way that it's designed to, not in fear, but with confidence. You build up some leg strength, and all of a sudden the stairs are back just when you thought your knees were buggered. And that was it. Okay. And because your legs got strong, you're in and out of chairs, no worries at all. You're not stuck. So then we can see this yellow box is pushing back. And that is simply from positive input. Yes, you have to do that input. You have to do the work. You have to be guided. And I understand it's extremely overwhelming these days with all the information. And here's me now adding more information, but my skill and my expertise is simplifying it for you. Okay. That's why there are only 18 standards that make you capable for life. It's not here's every movement the human body can do. Range of motion in joints, load going into your muscles, your ligaments, and your tendons. They're the inputs that keep your physical capability alive. This all a big inspiration of mine was watching a documentary called Centenarians, and it was all about different cultures around the world that had people living well over 100. And the one that really resonated with me was the Japanese culture, who had lots and lots of people living over 100, still being able to do the splits. Now, you don't need to be able to do the splits, but more importantly, they were able to sit cross-legged, be involved. And one of the interviews, a gentleman said, well, I've sat down and crossed my legs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my entire life. So 3 days a week, he got to the floor, crossed his legs since he was a child, and he has just never stopped doing it. So he's had that input 3 times a day for every day of his life. That's no fluke that happened. It's the input that person has provided to their hips, their knees, their ankles, their lower back. Just enough, not extreme, but has kept that ability rotating over and over and over. And here's the beautiful thing about the human body. It wants to move in all these positions. It's designed to, so it just needs to remember. And you need to get confident that you can keep doing just enough. I'm not as strong as I used to be 20 years ago, but we don't need to be as strong as we've ever been. We don't need to be as fast. We need to be able to do our life and stay away from that little white box in the middle of capability gone. Okay, there's too much life to be had, and your physical body is the driver of that. Culturally right now, I'd say it's not giving up, but it's accepted because we don't have these guidelines. Now, don't think I'm naive enough to know bad luck happens, because it does. But if you have the ability to walk and move your arms, you have the ability to try and improve your physical capabilities. And that's absolutely worth fighting for. If you want complete guidance, that's what my course is all about. Head to enough.health/course. It'll take you from the easiest of modules and gradually progress you through all the 18 standards to help you be capable for life. Check it out. And it's a wonderful resource. It's my whole brain in a course, so you can be guided for life and have it for a checkpoint. There's more information at enough.health/course. Yeah, it's a pretty passionate one for me because I said I've seen it over 20 years. I've got a client right now who I'll share with you who came to me 18 months ago, wheelchair, cancer survivor, lots of traumatic issues in her life. I said, wasn't on a wheelchair, completely dysfunctional. We'd given up, tried lots of different things, and we worked slowly. And now she loves boxing and beating me up at 70 years of age. Her hips are moving. She's creating force. We do boxing. We do strength training. She has fun with her body because she can. And I want that for you. All right. Don't give up on your body. It needs feedback. Just got to keep providing the right impact, the right input, and you can stay capable for life. Thanks for listening to episode 7. That was a big one. It's a passion of mine. But for now, that's enough said.